Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Queen Sugar Season 1, Episode 13. This is the season finale of Queen Sugar, and the name of this episode was Give Us This Day. Now, the episode opens up with Darla and Ralph Angel getting hot and steamy up in the shower. Now, while I'm talking about this, let me give a shout out to my boy the Jedi, because the Jedi called this out. And if you you guys should definitely check out his reviews and also subscribe to him as well. The Jedi called this out early on that Darla was going to end up in the big house with Ralph Angel and Blue, and that's exactly what happened. Darla is in, and she's in to stay. And based on the scene, oh yeah, she's in. And then the next thing you know, we actually see him checking on Blue, and Blue is sleeping in bed. And I was like, wow, Ralph Angel finally got a whole family. He got his woman, and he got his boy. So, Ralph Angel is winning right now. So, I definitely wanted to point that out. Next, we actually see that, Charlie, as we saw in the last episode, she used that situation talking about that Micah's going in with the wrong crowd and that he's not listening to her. And when she was calling him on the phone, that was only a ruse to get him down to Louisiana. So Davis has finally showed up, and they actually meet with each other, and he lets her know that he's there for Micah, but he's signing with New York, him and Felix, and he's so looking forward to it. Charlie peeps this like, okay. She's like, okay, I'm your biggest fan, so I'm going to be cheering for you. Just completely played it off. Next thing you know, once she leaves his hotel room, she calls Miss Lena on the phone. And she's like, oh, so I take it you didn't actually take my advice from the last time. And then Lena, being the stuck-up bitch that she is, was like, yeah, because I pretty much put it all together. Even if you did have that, video leak that you said, you can't actually use it because you will be sued. And you'd be sued across the board. And personally, I didn't think you really had one anyway, so our plans are going as we had discussed before, and there's nothing you can do about it, sweetie. I was like, oh, she's still getting bougie teas. But Charlie lets her know, like, sweetie, you don't know the half of what's going on in this situation, and you don't know the full extent of what your husband has done. So if you want to go on playing these little games and fuck up your husband's career, go ahead, because I'm not done. Trust me. And next thing you know, you see fucking Lena kind of like, yeah, bitch, you keep trying to come for fucking Charlie. Charlie is not that bitch. Charlie is not that bitch, and we saw that in that scene right there. Charlie is not someone you want to cross. This woman is a master at business. And and compared to Lena is just a basketball wife. Charlie is not only a basketball wife, but she's also the manager of her husband's career. So to think you was going to go against Charlie and that you was going to win, boo, you got another thing coming. And we actually see later on Charlie does have more ammunition, but I'm going to get to that. Next, we actually see that that Two-Swit has been, acquitted of all his charges, and he's going to go live in Montgomery, Alabama. And I must say, this is the first time we've seen Two-Sweet as a teenage kid, and he's glowing and he's happy. And he thanks Noah for all that she's done for him, and she says that, don't mention it. But now you go and help somebody else. Keep that process going. As I helped you, you help the next person. Don't forget that. And old boy that is one of Nova's runners. I keep forgetting his name, but he pretty much is driving Two-Sweet to Montgomery. And we actually see that Too Sweet has this glow, and it was so refreshing to see that, wow, Too Sweet is now free, because at first he looked like a person who was damaged. He looked like a person that was incarcerated, and he was still imprisoned emotionally. And to finally see this boy free, it was refreshing to see, because we actually saw Too Sweet in a light that we've never seen him before. And it was great. It was great to witness. Next thing you know, Calvin hits up Nova, and he starts, putting his sweet talk on us, like, hey, how you doing? You want to come see me, or do you want me to come see you? And then Nova's like, why don't you come see me? And he's like, open, look outside your window. And you got fucking Calvin just pimped out on the car, on the phone, like, why don't you come outside, baby? I was like, check Calvin out. He gonna get his black queen. Next thing you know, Nova comes out, and I must say the look that Nova had with that avant-garde, Afrocentric look was everything. She looked great. I'm like, you better serve African Queen, Nova. Serve it. I was so here for it. Next thing you know, her and Calvin, they hug and embrace. They start kissing. He's like, look, I want to do this over again. I want to be out in public with you. I want us to go out on a date. I want us to go dancing and have a good time. And she's like, I'm with that. This is a fresh start for us. Because we knew from early on that there is a strong connection between Calvin and Nova. And they come from opposite sides. Her being a political activist and journalist, and him being a cop. And after she wrote that article going after the police force, even amidst all of that, the two of them are still intact. So it's interesting to see where this relationship between Calvin and Nova is going to go. And let's trust me, a lot happens, and I'm definitely going to get to that. Next, we actually see that Charlie arranges a meeting between her, Micah, and Davis. And Micah gives no fucks about Davis about now. And pretty much, he's saying that, I'm here for you, Micah. I'm your father. You need to talk to me. Son, I understand that you're upset, but I need you to open up. And then Micah's like, man, I'm not here for you, and I don't give a damn what you got to say. I'm so not here for this. And then he's looking at Mom like, Mom, you really falling for this crap? Seriously, Mom? And then, Davis is like, oh, whoa, pump your brakes. I know you're upset and everything like that, but you're not going to disrespect your mother. He's like, you don't get to tell me what to do anymore. Because, obviously, this proves everything that you don't give a damn about nobody but yourself. You don't love me, and it's obvious you don't love Mom. So, you have no say-so anymore. I'm done with you. I'm done with this whole situation. You completely screwed all of us over with your actions. So, I'm not here for anything you have to say. And I'm like, damn, Micah is not playing. But I have to somewhat side with Michael on this. Davis, you do not realize that what you did not only screwed up Charlie's life, but it also screwed up Micah's. He had to leave town. He has to start his life over because life was hell for him at his last school based off of what Davis did. So he's also got a personal grief with Davis. But Davis is totally not with that. Next thing you know, we see Frank from the New Orleans Springer shows up, and we actually see Frank in the previous episodes, and Charlie sets it up where Davis, her, and Frank actually meet to discuss Davis signing on with New Orleans. And we actually see Micah is sitting in a table adjacent from them, and he's kind of peeping this as well. So pretty much, Frank lets Davis know that, look, you can actually get a fresh start here. Based off the bad press you're getting, from the national press, here locally, you will be a new hero. You'll get a fresh start. You get to rebuild yourself and rebuild your brand. And with, with your wife and your son by your side, it's gonna really be an eye opener for you, and it's gonna change the game. So Davis agrees. Okay, I'm with it, because Charlie kind of holds his hand and let him know that, yeah, I'm with you. But of course, Davis thinking that, oh, that means we're back together. So he's like, okay, I'm in. And him and Frank shake hands. So I'm like, okay, this is gonna be interesting. Next, back at Vi's place, Charlie is there and Remy shows up. Next thing you know, her and Remy are kind of getting it in, because you know Remy, like the drink, is looking all fresh and clean. He over there, she sits him down, she gets on top of him. It's like, I'm so sorry for forgetting our date, and I will let you know that it will never happen again. And then they start, you know, caressing, and they start kissing, and then Remy's like, shoot, if you putting it on like this, you can stand me up anytime, baby. I was like, get it, Remy, like the drink. Still smooth, still got the swag, and I'm so here for Remy. So I'm like, I'm loving this connection between Remy and Charlie, because we really see that Charlie's, you know, in a girl and in a woman blossoms when she's with Remy in a way that it never did with Davis. And you know, she pretty much apologizes for standing him up, but then he says that, oh, I got a confession to make also. I need to apologize to you because me and Ralph Angel were talking, and I kind of let it slip about you trying to buy that meal. And she's like, why would you do that? Ralph Angel's immature. You know, he really doesn't know how to process things properly. And she's like, Ralph Angel, and then like Remy was like, whoa, pump your brakes, Charlie. Ralph Angel has improved. Ralph Angel is about the business, and Ralph Angel is really with it. So he's changed. Next thing you know, you have the meeting of the minds. Charlie and Remy is meeting with Ralph Angel and Nova, and Ralph Angel is not here for Charlie's shit at all. He was saying, so when did it become all about what Charlie wants to do? You going back and you make this damn deal with the mill, you don't even discuss it with either one of us? Like, when did it become about you? Because the last time I checked, all three of us are business partners. All three of us are equal owners. So who the hell do you think you are to go make a meal? Excuse me. Who the hell do you think you are to go try to set up this deal with this meal, and you don't even include us or what we want to do about it? And then Nova's like, yeah, Charlie, because at the end of the day, we're all owners, and you should have discussed this with us, and we all should have been involved. It shouldn't have been just a power play for you. But let me tell you, sis, that is a damn good deal, because it's going to change the game. And I see that's where Charlie's going. She's talking about beating the Sanders and the Bordelos at their own game. Like, we're going to become independent. We'll have our own mill to process our own sugar, and we'll have other farmers coming to us instead of going to the Sanders and the Bordelos, because that's probably where they're making most of their money, is from these black farmers who they're taking advantage of. I mean, because they're charging them 60%. You know, so a big load of their money is coming from these black farmers who are being disenfranchised. Charlie's keeping the game, so she's like, I'm trying to change the game for everybody. But Ralph Angel right now is not here for this shit, because he said that, look, that is a good idea, and he's like, I'm so for the sisterly bond and the kumbaya, and I'm so here for the sisterly bond and the come to God, you know, the come to Jesus moment that you two sisters are having. But let's be real, that is like too soon. But we have harvest right now that needs to be processed, and my idea of using the refrigerated trucks to go to this other mill to get it processed, we got about like 1.8 million on the table. You know, I'm all for what you are trying to do, but I got blue, You know, I gotta fucking eat right now. I got a son to take care of. And so I ain't got time to be reinvesting in nothing right now. We need a harvest now, and then maybe 6 months down the line, we can do the meal thing. So he's not against the fact that they want to do this meal, but he's against the fact that Charlie is all about getting the meal and not about doing what they need to do as far as like getting this harvest, you know, to the mill and crystallized in a timely fashion. So Charlie pretty much says that, look, this is what Daddy wanted. Daddy wanted us to build an empire, to beat the Borderlos and the Sandries at their own game. And Ralph Angel's like, no, that's not what Daddy wanted. Daddy wanted to be his own man. He wanted to farm his land. He wanted to be able to stand on his own and be able to, you know, harvest his own crop. That's what Daddy wanted. This empire crap you talking, that's not Daddy. This is all about you, Charlie. So Ralph Angel is like livid. And she's trying to let him know, like, look, you know, regardless of how you may feel, this is a great opportunity for all of us, but not only us, but it also helps all of the other farmers who are being ripped off by the Sandries and the Borderlos, and now we can beat them at their own game, and now we can have everyone coming to us, and we all will benefit from this. But Ralph Angel's like, you know what? Y'all gonna do what y'all gonna do anyway, because obviously what I say don't fucking matter. So F this, and he gets up and he leaves. But after he goes out, Vi meets up with him, and he's like, look, Vi, I ain't here for this. I ain't here for this right now. Like, I don't want to talk about it. She's like, look, I'm not here for that. I'm just pretty much trying to, you know, see how you doing. But then next thing you know, Ralph Angel's like, oh yeah, I forgot. This just came in the mail. And she's like, and he gives her this envelope. And she's like, what's this? She's like, what the hell is this? And she's like, oh, those are the divorce papers that Hollywood signed against Leanne. They're officially divorced. See, that is the reason why he didn't come see you, because he didn't want to come to you empty-handed. He wanted to come to show you that he ended his marriage and that he wanted to start anew with you. And she's like, well, wow, why didn't you just tell me this? And he said that he was trying. He was trying to tell you. But he gone now. She's like, well, when did he leave? He said, oh, he left the day after he saw you getting it in with old boy at the Jew. So we next see that Vi calls Hollywood. Hollywood is, you can definitely tell Hollywood is broken. And he is like seriously hurt, because he's like, Vi, I'm not really here for your BS right now. And she's like, look, I didn't know. I'm sorry. And she's like, look, that guy, we were just dancing. Nothing happened. She's like, yeah, Vi, I know, but she's like, I just needed. She's just like, she's just like, you know how I get, like, you know, I was just emotionally not ready. And then, like, Hollywood was like, well, sadly, I'm not ready right now either, because I took this job at the Rigs, and it's like a 6-month job, so I won't see you in about 6 months. And she's like, Hollywood, and he's like, look, I gotta go. And he hangs up the phone, and I'm like, damn. Because I'm so rooting for them, and I'm so with them coming together. But maybe this 6-month break is what they need. So therefore, when they come back, they both know what they want. They both know what role they're going to play, and they can finally come together and they can make it work. But damn, 6 months though. And you can tell Vi was crushed. Because here it is, because she jumped to conclusions and chose to get in her feelings. And then he the same when he saw her grinding up on old boy. It's just like they just can't get right. Like, you know, the love between both of them is there, but then now that it's been someone like a monkey wrench thrown into their situation, it's just like they just can't come together on one accord. But maybe this 6-month break may help that. So I'm still rooting for Vi and Hollywood, because Hollywood's a great man. And Aunt Vi is a great woman, and I miss that black love. So I really hope that they do come back together. Next, we actually see Blue, Darla, and Ralph Angel, and you just really see that Blue is on cloud 9 because he got mommy and daddy right there with him. So Blue is like one of the happiest boys in the world right now, and he's coloring, and they're playing around, and she can definitely tell, and Darla can definitely tell that Ralph Angel is bothered because she says that, because Darla asks him, aren't you going to be? Because also what happened in the meeting of the minds is that she even talks to Remy. Well, Charlie talks to Remy and tells him that, you can get all of the union farmers to all come together, and we can actually have a meeting where we can actually let them know about our plans to have our own mill and to see if they're willing to leave the border loads. So in this meeting, Charlie lets them know that we have already set up a meeting where we're going to be meeting with all of the union farmers, and we're going to discuss this new mill opportunity and see if they're going to actually come together. And then, Ralph Angel just went hit for that. She's like, okay, girl, get up on your pedestal and see if you're gonna actually get all of them to leave the border loads and the Sanjays after they've been doing business with them for all these years. Let's see if they're gonna end that and walk with you. And that's when he ended up walking out. But they were actually meeting that day while Darla, Ralph Angel, and Blue are at the house. And Darla was like, aren't you supposed to be going to that meeting that Charlie set up with the union farm? She's like, I'm not going to that crap. They don't never listen to me. They never respect me. And I'm just not here for the bullshit. And Darla pretty much reaffirmed her man. I mean, she is still serving Tammy Wynette. Stand by your man. She is still serving that. And she's like, look, it's not about her respecting you. It's about you respecting yourself. And he's like, baby, you always know the right things to say. I was like, ooh, I actually like them right now. Let's just hope that it's real and that Darla ain't really on some bullshit. But I'm still trying to root for her because, she has improved so well from when we first saw her, the beginning of the season till now. She has done a complete 360. She's been there for Blue, and I like this new Darla, but let's just hope that this new Darla stays intact and that it's not all smoke screens. But and then she pretty much like I love you, and he's like, I love you too. So it's like, it's cool to see that they're coming together and that they really have fallen in love. They have fallen in love with each other. So it's cool. Next, we actually see that Charlie, while this is going on, Charlie is actually having a meeting at the High Yellow with all of the fellow union farmers that Remy got together, and she talks about her plans to open the mill, and she pretty much lets them know that they come to her, that she will pay the penalties that they will have to pay from breaking their contracts, and she will give them 5% on the back end, which is a great deal. So they leaving, they don't even have to pay the penalties of them breaking their contracts, but then she's going to give them money for signing with them. So it's like a win-win deal, and she's, letting them know that, look, this is a time to finally take back and finally, do something for the ones who came before us who are no longer here. And definitely, I can definitely see Ernest right now, that Ernest is now kind of coming through, Charlie at this moment because, she's representing her father, but then she's also representing all the other farmers who tried to break away from this tyranny that the border loads and the Sanjis have set up, where they're not able to, harvest their crops and they're not able to replenish their own lands. She said, with me, we're going to be able to reclaim our treasure. We're going to be able to reclaim our lives. And then the next thing you know, they were with it. They were shaking hands. They were happy. Like, yeah, let's break away. It's time for us to do us. And it was really refreshing to see because it really showed that, all of these farmers, women farmers, male farmers, and I think there was even some Mexican farmers. They were all saying that, look, we're going to come to one accord, and we're going to be one, and we're going to stand against, the white supremacy that has been running our mills and has been keeping us down all the time. We're going against the grain. So I was so here for that. Next thing you know, we see afterwards, Remy and Charlie are still, canoodling with each other. And she's like, well, I would say your place or mine, but I don't have a place. And then Remy's like, we can go to my place, baby. Remy like, the drink! So he was definitely serving that. But then she ends up getting a call. And guess who's on the damn phone? That motherfucking Davis. Charlie. I wanted to see I wanted to see where we stand, based on earlier. I want to know if we're really serious before I sign this deal. So why don't you come meet up with me tonight, because I want to know, did you really mean what you said at that table, that you're in, for me and for Micah? And I wanted to know, are we still, is there still something there between us? So I'm like, you were called at the time she with Remy. And Remy overhears the conversation. So obviously she's like, well, Remy, do you think we can do a rain check on the night? Can I come later? And he was like, no, you can't come later. Good night, Charlie. And I was like, damn, Remy. Here it is. You was about to hit home base and Charlie again fucks it up. And then Charlie's just like, damn, I might have just fucked it up with Remy altogether. But next thing you know, we see Charlie goes to Davis's room. Davis tries to put the moves on her, and she completely backs off. And he was like, I knew it. I knew you really weren't in for this. You always, since you are a businesswoman, you've always been 5 or 10 steps ahead. I knew something was up. I don't know why you got me here, but yeah, it ain't about us anymore, and I can see that. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to New York. And she's like, well, you need to be here for Micah. He's like, look, Micah don't want nothing to do with me. Micah ain't really seeing eye to eye with me right now. Maybe, and it's like, he don't need me right now. He needs you. He got you, and that's all he needs. He don't really need me right now, so I'm not here for it. And she pretty much reaffirms to him that, look, I loved you with everything. I loved you with my heart and my soul. You were the star in the moon to me. But now things have changed. Where do we go wrong? But she says that, look, you need to stay for Micah, and you need to work this out for your son. So she's like, well, pretty much there's no more I can say. So she ends up getting up and leaving. So here it is. We was thinking that her and Davis was gonna fall back into their marriage. She was dead set that no, she's over him now, and he knows it now that she's over him. But she's like, look, you need to stay on the account of Micah because Micah needs you. But Charlie ain't done yet. Because right after that, she go meet up with old boy Felix. Felix right now is in the house of Chief, got hands full of booty and just living it up. Getting turned up in the damn strip club. She goes in there and she's like, I'm not surprised to find you here, Felix. You still the same old asshole up in here turning up with these strippers and shit. And, maybe your wife is okay with this whole situation, but, bruh, she pretty much says, I need to talk to you. And he's like, you know what? I don't want to hear shit you gotta say, Charlie. I'm going to New York. The little shit that you try to pull ain't going no motherfucking where. So I'm going to New York, and ain't nothing you can do about it. And she's like, oh, yeah? Well, what about, and then she starts naming names. She's like, oh, what about, what about Coco? What about Sweet Tea? What about Black Diamond? What about St. LaRue's? What about Ebony Sparks? And then she just started naming all these different women, stripper names. And he's like, what you getting at? She said that, look, Melina Goldman, aka Goldie, she doesn't go by the name Goldie no more, so she's out the game. But guess what? She's leading a movement, and she's gotten all of these other women who you have sexually violated or assaulted all together. So yeah, she can't come out and say anything against you because, this stuff has been settled out of court. So legally she can't, but these women can. And trust me, I'm at the hem of it. I will ruin your ass if you don't sign with New Orleans. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to sign with New Orleans, and you're going to convince Davis to do the same thing. And you're going to wire $5 million to my account, and I need it, by the end of the day. So let's just say this is the best deal you got to have, because at the end of the day, we have choices. Now, this is a choice you have to make. You can either try to fight this and ruin your entire career because these women are ready to talk, or you can nod your head and go along with this proposition I've given you. And he nods his head. And I'm like, wow, Charlie, come through. That's my boss bitch right there. And then she kind of lets him know, look, if you assault or rape another woman, I will destroy you. And I will destroy you myself. So let this be a warning. You better change your ways and you better do it quick. And I'm like, Charlie, come through. Next thing you know, she is, the next day, that $5 million's in that damn account, like she asked. She calls Frank calls her and lets her know that, look, Charlie, you done did it again. Davis has signed, and I have $5 million coming to you by the end of this week. She says, oh, whoa. Just give me 4 and put 1, to a swap, which is sex workers, sex workers in progress, and put it in the name of Melina Goldman, So she says that keep 4, give me 4, and put 1 towards this organization helping sex workers who are trying to get their lives together. And he was like, and Frank was like, oh, this is great. Shoot, you giving me a tax write-off too? Shoot, I'm with this. And I'm like, Charlie has completely succeeded. So now she got that $9 million to buy the mill. So I'm like, the Bordelots are winning. They are winning right now. So I'm like, Charlie, you did your damn thing. Next, we actually see Nova and Calvin. They're out on their date. They out dancing, having a good old time, and it was good seeing the two of them interact because they've never been public with their relationship. Calvin wanted to be public, but Nova was real private with it because he was married. But now that he's left his wife, they out in public, they dancing, having a good old damn time. Next thing you know, while they talking and chatting it up at the bar, one of his, fellow officers, who's pretty much a close friend of his, come up, they dabbing each other up, and he's like, so who's this beautiful woman? She is gorgeous. And she's like, well, hi, thank you. And she's like, oh, yeah, this is my new lady. She's like, oh, yeah, she is beautiful. And she's like, she goes to introduce herself. She's like, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Nova Bordelon. And he's like, oh, really, Calvin? You really gonna mess around with this bitch who's trying to take down the precinct and is trying to destroy the reputation of good officers? This is who you gonna mess around with? You seriously decided to be out in public with this bitch who's trying to destroy us? And he said that, and you gonna leave your wife for this bitch right here? Shoot. If that's the case, she must be some good piece of ass. And he gropes Nova. Next thing you know, old boy and Calvin start fighting, and it just gets crazy. The damn security guard pulls him away. He's like, you betrayed us. You betrayed your brothers, and you betrayed your fellow brothers, and you betrayed your wife. Like, how could you? And then next thing you know, while the security guard is pulling him out, Nova's standing right here, and then the guy's right there. This fool turns over and he spits dead in Nova's face. I literally I fucking was livid with that shit. I was like, somebody get a gun and shoot this motherfucker dead square in the center for that shit. Because Nova was just shocked, and she was broken. Like, she could not believe that asshole did that to her. So you see her breaking down, wiping her face, and you see the tears coming down her face. I'm like, Nova was hurt. Because we never seen the opposite end of the reactions from her article. And in that moment, we saw that there are a lot of people out here who hate her for doing that article, you know, exposing the police, police brutality in the prison industrial complex. So we saw the other side of it, and you know, even Calvin was like stuck, and everybody in the place was like, "Oh my God, no, the fuck did he not just do that?" I mean, and she was just emotionally broken. And I was like, man, I wanted to whoop that guy's ass. Alright. So pretty much after that, we go back to the house with Darla and Ralph Angel. Darla's trying to reach something on top of she's trying to reach something on the top shelf, but she can't reach it. So he goes up there, but he ends up finding this box. And there's a lock on it. So he breaks it, and inside this box is a letter to Ralph Angel. And inside this letter it's actually a letter that was written by Ernest. And it's actually his revision to the will and testament that he had put that they had acknowledged earlier in the episode. He actually revised the will, and he said that, you know, if this doesn't make it by the time I die, then, you know, whoever has this letter, they need to bring this forth. And it turns out he didn't leave the land to all of them. He left everything to Ralph Angel. So now Ralph Angel's emotional because it's his father, but then he's reaffirming him that, look, regardless of your mistakes, you are smarter than you think you are. You are better than you think you are. Like, I know that good in you, but she says, I want you to have this land. I want you to replenish it. I want you to make it productive. I want you to have a family set up. And he already got Dawn-Lyen and Blue, so he got the family. He's like, I want you to replenish this land, and I want this land to bless you as it has blessed me. And next thing you know, I'm thinking, wow, this is really going to spin everything. Because now that it's known that everything was left to Ralph Angel, Ralph Angel is about to step up in a way we never have. And we can definitely see the clash of the titans between her and Charlie. Between Ralph Angel and Charlie. And we actually see how it closed that Charlie actually got the mail, and she wrote the name Queen Sugar in the sand, so that's what they're going to name the new meal. So, but then again, Ralph Angel still needs Charlie because Charlie is the business side, and he definitely needs that business in order to change the game of the farm. You know, Ralph Angel has the knowledge of the crop and the agriculture and the physical aspect of the farm, but Charlie is the business. But Ralph Angel was saying is starting to have that business savvy as well. So they just need to come together, and if they come together, man, they are unstoppable. So it's interesting that the game has changed, and Ralph Angel is the true inheritor of everything. So that's my review, guys, for Queen Sugar. I love this show. I cannot wait for season 2, and I'm gonna be right back for it because I will be reviewing season 2 as well. But yes, subscribe to my channel. Leave comments. like this video, share this video, and I will be back with you guys for season 2 of Queen Sugar. I thank you for your support, and I truly appreciate all of you for riding with me and actually supporting, what I'm trying to do here by building, building an audience here on YouTube and actually sharing, my opinions and my reactions to these episodes. So I'm very grateful for you guys, and I don't take it for granted. But I will be back with you guys for season 2 of Queen Sugar. So until then, everybody, take care.